hope everybody's excited, locked in, and loaded for the week. This is Cycle 2. This is Scope Chips calling in from chilly Huntsville, Alabama today. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. Every day above ground is exciting. I'm excited to be here this morning. Glad that you guys were able to take the time out of your busy schedules to plug in. We have these calls each and every morning, Monday through Friday, different speakers, different topics every single day. It's an incredible day, incredible way to start the day. I get excited because it allows me, once I wake up, say my prayers, thank the Lord for the opportunity to see the day. It's a great opportunity to start the day with my business on top of mine. There are calls that go on in different organizations every single morning. I think they're ingenious because they give us the opportunity to move life's situations out of the way and get started with one of the most important things that can change our lives, and that's our businesses. So I want to welcome you guys to the call today. I'm excited to have about 15 or 20 minutes to be able to share with you this morning on the topic I think that is incredibly important in what we do. Talking about going back to the basics. I know Zija is launching the Life Unlimited Academy. I know that first event will be next weekend in Cookeville, Tennessee. I know everybody's excited about that event. There'll be several more to come. But this morning, I'll just share some time. I brought a couple of guys online with me to kind of share with me. But I'll share this morning about two things that I think are important. Two things that I think you can't have one without the other. And that's edification and three-way calls. I'll just share a couple of points, a couple of tips. A lot of this stuff, some of you know. A lot of this stuff, some of you don't. But I think it's so important for all of us to be on top of our games when it comes to both of these topics. I think it's equally important not only that we're on top of our games, but that we're able to teach others the importance because these are the glue to the system, the third-party system that we share. And if you're not sharing your business via third party, trust me, your business won't grow. It'll start to grow. It may make you think it's going to grow, but long term, if we're not doing proper edification, if we're not doing three-way calls using third-party experts, our businesses are not growing because they're dependent upon each person's individual skills. I had a gentleman tell me years ago that your check is a direct reflection of the number of three-way calls that you do. And that's all I needed to hear. Anytime you want to compare my check to something, I understand how important it is because at the end of the day, in our industry, numbers don't lie. And the number one number that is considered by most is the size of a person's check. That means that a person is helping a lot of people. That means that a person is teaching some proper systems and duplicatable systems throughout their group. But that just simply shows that that particular person knows what's going on inside his or her personal organization. So just a couple of tips this morning. We'll do some mock three-way calls. We'll do some mock edification. But I think it's super important. I know it's super important that we as leaders are doing these things. More importantly, we're able to teach these things because once again, our organizations only grow and go as far as we go. Now, edification. What is edification? First and foremost, let me say this. I don't think you can have a proper three-way call without proper edification. That's why I chose to combine the two. Edification and a two or three-way call is kind of like PB and J. They're good by themselves, but together they are absolutely incredible. In the South, we eat peanut butter and jelly. But understand that one is as equal and important as the other. There's no way I can do a proper three-way call if I haven't done proper edification. Somebody said, what is edification? I'm glad you asked. Edification is simply talking highly about someone else. Now understand, tools as well can be edified. Edification just simply means that you're talking highly about the third party that you're introducing to your prospect. Now, if you're talking highly about yourself, you're bragging. But if you're talking highly about someone else, it's edification. Now, I'll tell you this. One of the biggest roadblocks when it comes to edification is our own personal egos. If you think that a person that you're introducing to your prospect is not worthy of you talking highly about them, I don't think you should be putting that person on the phone. First and foremost, we have to remove every single ounce of ego that we have that blocks our path, that deters us from being open to talk highly about somebody else. It comes along the lines of being humble as well. We have to remove those things that are roadblocks. We have to remove those things that are obstacles, and understand that it's not about us. We have to digress in order to progress in building a business when it comes to edifying someone else. Now, when you say edification, I think there are three areas that, especially when we're edifying a person. Now, like I said, you can edify a tool. You can talk highly about the newsletter. You can talk incredibly highly about the videos. You can talk incredibly highly about the website. And I think edification is big because it builds value for whatever or whoever we're introducing to the prospects. Now, understand that it's not about us. That's the first thing you have to understand. And get ingrained in your brain when it comes to this industry. I was a college graduate. I worked hard for my college education, my college degree. Went to one of the best universities in the state of Alabama, the best university in the state of Alabama. But understand that I thought that it was all about me. When I got involved in the industry, I thought I had to know it all in order to be successful. I've even heard people say, well, listen, I don't want to tell people I don't know. When people ask me a question, I want to be able to answer the question. The first thing we have to understand is it's not about us. We have to digress to make progress, if that makes sense. So understand it's not about us. It's not about us knowing all the information, whether we know it or not. It's not about us. We have to get ingrained in our brains that it's about the third-party system that we possess. It's about us moving ourselves out of the way and not becoming a personal roadblock to the prospect by trying to know it all. Now, like I said, we can edify a tool, we can edify a video, whatever the case may be. But this morning I'll specifically talk about edifying an individual. Now, there are three areas I think are super important when it comes to edifying an expert, and understand this person is an expert, so they should be treated like an expert when we do the edification before we connect them via three-way call. Three areas I think are important for us to always make sure we point out to our prospects. The first is the expert's time. How many times have we attempted to do a three-way call with a prospect, and maybe that prospect says, he or she says, I don't have time. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. I don't really have the time. See, we have to understand, I know I've been guilty of it in the past, but it's super important for us to make known to our prospects, honestly, and we have to say it in a polite way, it's not about them. I'm getting you on the phone with a guy that's crisscrossing the country, a guy that's extremely busy. I don't know if he'll have time to talk to you. It's super important for us to edify, first and foremost, our expert's time by saying things like, this gentleman is extremely busy. I don't know if I'll be able to reach him. He may be on a plane. He may be in another country. He may be in a meeting. He may not be available. But we have to do a better job at edifying the expert's time. We don't have people just sitting around in a factory, in a call center, sitting by the phone, waiting on us to call, even though we make ourselves available in that manner. We don't have people in a call center sitting around waiting on us to call just to be put on the phone with people, just to meet prospects. So it's super important that we edify our expert's time. He or she is extremely busy. I don't know if I'll be able to reach her. She could be on a plane. She could be traveling across country. She or he could be in another country right now. So make sure that you're edifying the expert's time. The second area I think is important is that we edify the expert's knowledge. And I want to make this point, and hopefully you won't take it the wrong way, but understand, it does us no good. I hear people do it all the time in edification. It does us no good to say, this person, he's a super triple diamond elite in the company, or this person is a super triple gold in the company, or this person is a quadruple diamond. Guys, understand, we sound like jewelry salesmen when we edify edify ranks when doing the edification. We have to keep this thing, we have to make it great, but we can't be so over the top because prospects don't understand what it means to be a diamond. They don't understand what it means to be gold. We sound like the next best jewelry store, but understand we can say things to edify our experts without having to go into the wrong details. So, time is important. Second, I said, let's make sure we edify a person's knowledge. I say things like, this person knows 100% of the facts. He or she has all of your answers to any questions you may have. He's helped a lot of people, so he knows a lot of things. I say things like that to further edify the knowledge of my prospect. It's super important, the knowledge of my expert. It's super important that our prospects know that we're getting them on the phone with the best of the best. No questions asked. Don't worry about whether or not he or she knows. He knows it all from A to Z. She knows it all from A to Z. She knows 150% of the facts. I say things like that to let my prospect know, and you should say things like that to let your prospect know that your expert has the knowledge that he or she is looking for. And then the third area I think we have to make sure that we touch on in our edification is our expert's personality. I love saying things like, he or she has a heart of gold. He or she loves helping people. He or she has created one of the largest and fastest growing teams inside of Seja International. I say things to make sure I edify my expert's personality. I'm not putting you on the phone with some deadbeat. I'm not putting you on the phone with somebody that just doesn't love people. I'm not putting you on the phone with somebody who doesn't care. I'm letting my people know that this person, he or she, has a heart of gold. This person, he or she, loves helping people. This person, he or she, loves having fun. People like meeting fun and exciting people. This gentleman, he's super excited about Seja and the opportunity to meet you. So understand that I'm always edifying my expert's personality as well before I connect them on a three-way call. Once again, I don't do a three-way call without edification, because if you're not edifying your expert, you're de-edifying him or her. If you're not talking highly about them, you are de-edifying them in the call. I've been on three-ways with people, and it's not because they didn't want to. Sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes we don't take the time to really explain and teach the importance of edification. But I've been on three-way calls where people have called me up, and not that I'm looking to get patted on the back. I just know that a call will go a lot smoother. A call can be that much more incredible if proper edification is done. I've been on calls before with people call me and say, Coach Epps, there's somebody I want you to talk to. Here they are. And then we spend about 5 or 6 seconds with the cricket chirping, with me trying to figure out really, really quick how to make this call exciting, because that proper introduction wasn't done. But I've been on calls like that. It's the worst feeling you could ever have as an expert, but it's happened before. But I've also been on calls where there's overkill when it comes to edification. People calling out every single rate. They want to talk about every single thing you've done inside of Seja. We have to make sure we make it sweet, but we make it short when it comes to edification. It can be powerful and short. The longer the edification doesn't make it any more powerful. Just understand we have to come up with something incredible to be able to say, tell the truth when saying it, have some excitement when saying it, but make sure we touch on those 3 areas. So remember, in the proper edification, always edify your expert's time. He or she, and I'll give you a couple of things, he or she is extremely busy. He or she could be on a plane. I don't know if I'll be able to reach her or him, but they could be crisscrossing the country. Could be in another country. Could be in a very important meeting. Could be somewhere doing a very important presentation. Those are things I say to make sure I edify my expert's time. Those are things that you should say. Alright? Second thing, thing. Make sure you're always edifying their knowledge. He or she knows 150% of the facts. He or she knows everything about Zeta from A to Z and will definitely be able to answer any questions you may have. This gentleman, sometimes I'll say, is extremely knowledgeable. I wanted to get you on the phone with the best of the best when it came to Zeta. So here's Lisa. So understand, we have to make sure we edify a person's knowledge. And then I think it's super important that we edify a person's personality. I love putting people on the phone and being able to honestly tell somebody he or she loves helping people. We want to make people feel warm and fuzzy. People need to know that they're not just getting involved in business. I often tell people you're getting involved with a family. We are a family here inside of Zeta. He or she loves helping people. He or she loves having fun. Those are great things that you can say about people. Zeta is fun. If you're building the business the right way, it's an extreme amount of fun. John Doe, Jane Doe, they love having fun. These are things that you should say to people. Loves helping people, loves having fun, is building an incredible team. I love this person to death. I say things like that when I'm doing my edification, but I want to make sure I'm properly edifying my expert's personality. So, remember those things and tips and become better. You have to practice. You have to do it to get better at it. To get better, you have to continue to do it. But understand it's super important for us to make sure proper edification is done when we're introducing an expert via a three-way call. If you want your three-way calls to be that much smoother, if you want your three-way calls to be that much more incredible, make sure we're touching on those areas in edification. And then there's a generic edification that I learned that will fit every single person in the business. When introducing, and let me say this, make sure, once again, we don't go into our whole line of jewelry. It's good, we get excited when we can get a diamond elite on the phone. All those things are great. But once again, remember, this is about the prospect. And a prospect doesn't understand what it means to be a quadruple black diamond. They don't understand what it means to be this guy's a gold in the company. It sounds good to us, but they absolutely know nothing about what that means, okay? If it was up to a prospect, you could call somebody a build of 500. And if you're excited when you say it, that sounds like a lot of people. 500, I don't know what it is, whether it's dollars, whether it's people, whatever it is, it's a lot. So understand those things really don't matter when edifying an expert. So it's not really necessary for us to become an experts when trying to find out should we announce a person's rank or say some things like that when doing edification, because they're not important. But a simple generic edification I learned that we all should learn as well. When edifying an expert, we can always just simply say, this person loves helping people, loves having fun, is making a lot of money inside of Zeta, and knows all the facts, okay? Really simple four, really powerful characteristics, really generic. When I say generic, because they fit everybody. All of us love having fun. If you're building a big business, you love helping people. If you're building a business, you love making money. And if somebody is getting you on the phone as an expert, you definitely know all the facts, alright? So, edification. Alright, now, make sure that's just the commercial, that's just the trailer to the movie. The movie is the three-way call. But remember, anytime you see a great movie, it's always the trailer that gets your attention. It's always the trailer that gets you excited about that specific movie. So understand the edification is simply the trailer to the incredible movie, and the movie is the three-way call. Now, we won't spend much time on this. This is a whole nother training in itself. But understand, three-way calls are super important. If you're not doing them, you have to start doing them. Don't be afraid. Figure out what works best for you. Figure out the best way for you to transition a prospect to meet your expert and roll with what works. If you need an expert, I've done several three-way calls where I'm already on the phone with a new distributor because he or she just hadn't got comfortable with a transition yet. That's okay. Let's make the call with me already on the phone. But understand, three-way calls are important. They're important when it comes to invitation. foundation to answer all questions and help a person make a decision on whether or not the opportunity is for them. If I'm using a three-way call in an invitation, I'm always making sure, first and foremost, my expert is available. I may send a text message, I may make a personal call, but I'm making sure I have a couple of experts available before I ever follow up with my prospect, okay? First things first, get the things that you need in order, alright? I got those things in order, now I'm reaching out to my prospect, and I'm just making sure that my prospect understands that there's somebody I want you to meet. There's somebody you have to meet. And that's how I always use it in terms of my prospect meeting my expert. It's always an introduction. I got this guy you gotta meet. You know, I don't say, I got somebody I want you to talk to. I got somebody I want to put you on the phone with. I don't say those things because I want my prospect to feel comfortable. I don't want them to feel like I'm putting them into a sales type environment. So I'm simply edifying my expert and saying, you have got to meet this guy. I make my prospect feel like it's a privilege to be able to get on the phone with my expert. Not forcing them, not something they have to do, but I make them salivate at the fact that they just have the opportunity to meet this individual. I make them feel like, man, I am special by being able to get on the phone with the individual that Coach Epps is talking about. Man, I hope you can reach him, Coach Epps. That's how I make my prospect feel. That's the way we should make our people feel. I don't know what works best for you, but I always tell my prospects there's somebody you have to meet. When I expose them in the beginning, I say, listen, this information is going to be incredible. You're going to love what you're going to see. I know you may even have some questions, but if you like something you see, I have somebody you have to meet. I prepare my prospects in the introduction phase that if they see something or hear something that they like from this call or from something that they read, I have somebody that they have to meet. It's all about me introducing you to some incredible people. It's all about me empowering your life by being able to meet this individual. It's all about me strengthening your circle by being able to link you with this individual that you have to meet. So, understand, you may be inviting somebody to an event. You can do the same edification, bring your expert on the line, and allow your expert to invite an individual to an event. That's one type of three-way call. You may be using a three-way call to confirm somebody for an event. Same thing, incredible edification. You bring your expert on. Remember, you talk to your expert prior, so your expert already knows that he or she is confirming your prospect. You can use three-way calls for confirmation. And then, last but not least, for validation. You always use three-way calls for validation. Edify your expert, bring your expert on, and allow your expert to ask the right questions to the prospect, answer the prospect's questions, and then allow your expert to close your prospect. Guys, if you're closing your own prospects, you're probably great at it, but understand you're building the business wrong. Because every single thing we do, remember our prospects, they're in training mode. Every single thing we do with them, if we don't introduce a third party, if we don't use a tool, if we don't do edification, every single thing we do, our prospect does. So we have to be careful in the pre-phase while they're just taking a look, because once they become distributors, they simply rewind and replay every single thing we did in the beginning. And they do the exact same things, or they attempt to do the exact same things when helping their people get involved. Next week, what I'll do, we'll continue on the same subject. I got some individuals I invited on. I appreciate them being here. They're on the call anyway. But next week, we'll maybe do some mock three-way calls, so you guys can kind of get a feel for the three different types of three-way calls. But they're important. They're super important. Maybe some things you've heard before, but understand that as soon as we all grasp the importance of edification, the importance of three-way calls, we start to understand how simple the business is also about us teaching and become great teachers and create some incredible duplication, which is important for an incredible size chick inside the industry. So we're at the bottom of the hour. A new time will fly by. The thing will fly by that fast. But I definitely want to open the lines. I know there are events going on all across the globe. I know there's some individuals online that want to promote for some events. So let's go ahead and open the lines, and we'll get those events announced accordingly. Anybody, first come, first serve.
Good morning, Coach Chips.
Good morning.
This is Dr. Keisha Ashley in the Birmingham, Alabama market. Phenomenal call this morning. Thanks so much for sharing that information. And I do have several events to promote for. So I hope everyone has a pen and pad still in hand. I'd like to begin by announcing that top money earner Mr. Mike Sims will be in Houston, Texas tomorrow. That's Wednesday, January 22nd, and it's going to be at the Sugarland Convention Center at 7 p.m. You can check the events calendar for more information on that event. Also, top money earner Mr. Mike Sims will be in Montgomery, Alabama this Saturday, January 25th at 10 a.m. at the Embassy Suites for a super event there. Of course, you mentioned earlier Cookeville, Tennessee, the EVP training on February 3rd. And that event, of course, is featuring Greg Beer, Chip Buck, Mike Sims, Josh Plant, Jeremy Daship, and many others. So please check the events calendar for that event. More information on that one. And then top money earner Mr. Mike Sims will be in Birmingham, Alabama on Monday, February the 3rd at the Hilton Garden Inn at 7 p.m. Platinum executive yours truly, Dr. Ashley, will be in Brandon, Mississippi on February 6th at the Hampton Inn at 7 p.m. And then again, top money earners Mr. Mike Sims, Mr. Will Weaver, and Mr. Tony Fleming will be in Atlanta, Georgia for a super event Saturday, February the 8th. Next, we have Triples Diamond Elite, that's top money earner in the United States. Mr. Chris Essie will be in Birmingham, Alabama on Thursday, February 13th at 7 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn. And six-figure ring earner Lisa, Miss Diamond executive Miss Lisa Adams Horsley, and physical therapist and gold executive Dr. Aristotle Kirkland will be hosting a super event in Montgomery, Alabama at the Staybridge Suites on February 15th, which is a Saturday. You can check the events calendar for more information on that event. And finally, six-figure ring earner Diamond executive Ms. Lisa Adams Horsley will be in Birmingham, Alabama at 2 o'clock on Sunday, February 23rd at the Hilton Garden Inn for a Super Sunday event there. There are numerous events that are going on throughout numerous organizations. We're all gearing up and preparing for a 90-day blitz, and we are super excited. Coach F, thank you so much for allowing me to promote these events, and that's just the end of January and some of the February events. So, hey, let's get it rocking. Thanks so much.
Good stuff. Incredible events, guys. Check the calendar. Anybody else?
Yeah, first of all, Coach, I want to thank you for, all the education, all the information that you share, the knowledge and the wisdom. You're grateful. I'm so grateful to have you in my life and this vision mission. Part of the follow all those events, man, make me want to move to Alabama.
Come on.
I'm going to tell you. But anyway, just so the Vision Nation knows, I am doing the corporate power calls tonight. I will be doing my testimony. I like to let the Vision Nation know because I get a lot of calls from 3 ways, and I'd like to be able to knock out a lot of information, sharing how this product has changed my life and how touched and how grateful I am to be able to share with their guests and them about what a great product we have and what it does for us financially, not only financially, but for me physically, emotionally, and mentally. And once again, thank you for all your knowledge and wisdom. This is Dave Albury.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that as well. Look forward to hearing you on the call tonight. Anybody else? Well, all right, guys. I appreciate everybody plugging in. Hopefully you took something from the call this morning. I know it was really elementary to some, but sometimes the most simplest things can be the most important in what we do. But it's super important that we become better every single day. I'm still getting better at edifying, still getting better at doing 3-way calls because I understand they're the glue that holds us together when it comes to building a business and making sure we use the system. With that, you guys have an incredibly blessed day. We appreciate everybody. We'll see you guys on the top.
Thank you very much.
Great call.